I never forget this World Cup where you played. We watched at the television. You have any T-shirts from that time? Or
yeah, so these two are my World Cup jerseys.
And you use this one in the
yes,
tournament?
Both. I just had to. We had the kit man. I had them washed, and then when I had the things framed, they like steamed it all up and
all the teammates.
Yeah, everybody was on the World Cup squad, and then QPR when I was the captain there, Stoke City, my first team Houston Dynamo in the MLS.
It was the first.
Yeah, that was my first team, and then more Stoke City. This was another. I don't know if that was my 50th game or something like that, but it's one of my favorite jerseys. And then Cincinnati, finish up with Cincinnati, and then those two were the MLS All-Star. We played against Everton when I was in the blue, and we played against Man United for the bottom one. In my closet, I have probably 3 huge bins.
You collected, or it's just
traded jerseys or whatever? You know, I have hazards from when I traded in the World Cup to, you know, a bunch of guys from, you know, Carzola to Boyan to a lot of guys that you became friends with, or the ones that you know, like you'd always see in the grocery store. You know, living in England, everybody was on the same schedule, so you'd see guys after training and you'd be walking down the aisle and you'd see guys at Man United, Man City, because we're all on the same schedule, so it would be like on our stop home. But yeah, then you end up trading jerseys or something like that.
From your childhood, all these memories when you were on the stadium, and what did you feel when you were there, already there?
I had
in the national team, I mean.
Yeah, I mean, I remember my first cap. I mean, I'm just getting chills thinking about it, but walking out for the first time, I mean, I was nervous. Yeah. Like, it's what I dreamed of as a kid. It was
how old you were at that time?
For my first cap or for my first cap, I was like 20. I want to guess maybe 20, 22, 23 maybe.
Quite young.
Yeah. And it was, you know, unfortunate. I started professional a little later because we had the system of high school to college, college to professional, where now these kids are so fortunate. They get the academy system. They don't even have to go to college, you know. So yeah, going through the youth side, it was, you know, you just dream of it. Like if you're walking out, you're hearing the national anthem, and then you make your appearance, and then it was kind of like surreal, really. You know, it's an honor to represent your country, and there's not many people. I think there's only maybe 1,100 players that's ever played for the national team. And, you know, you're the best of the best. And then when you get there, you're still competing with the best of the best, you know, and the standard just goes up. In my head, I was like, I always wanted to, like, for me, my grandfather, who I was really close with, we called the tripod. It was like my dad, my grandfather, and myself. And I would have soccer games on the weekend, and we'd do road trips. My grandfather would VHS record 2 Italian games, and I would record 2 Premier League games on VHS. He'd come down for the weekend. He'd give me the Italian games. I'd give him the Premier League games, and we'd switch, and I'd watch it over, and then we'd then redo it again. Record the teams on the weekend, and then exchange. So it was always that, and I would just that's where I fell in love with the game. I loved watching it, but I wasn't watching it as a fan. I was watching it as a player.
And you had any favorite that time?
Juventus was my favorite team, yeah. And like Del Piero, Paul Nedved, Cannavaro, like that team was incredible. And then for me, it was even more special because I was getting ready to go to college. And I was doing a workout at Brown University which is in like Providence, Rhode Island. And I'm there at the field, and then all of a sudden I see this bus pull up. And I'm like, what's this? And then all of a sudden I see Edgar Davids, Paulo Nedved, Trezeguet, their whole entire team just gets off. And they're actually training at Brown University because they're playing Barcelona at the Foxborough Stadium. And so happened I was there on a Wednesday and at like, you know, a normal time in the morning and going for a run, working out. And then guess what? Edgar Davids comes over and starts juggling the ball with me. And I'm like, this is crazy. Like, this is unbelievable. And then all of a sudden I go home, I'm telling like, this is, you won't believe it. Like no one really believed it. This was like, it was special, you know? And that, and again, that moment, like, made me push, and it inspired me even more. And I'm like, this is what I want to do.
What did you feel when you arrived there? Of course, that time MLS was not like now, not so strong. I mean, or it was, and you arrived the best of the best.
I mean, it was. I had to prove myself.
Yeah.
You know, it was. I'm an American. There wasn't many Americans going over there. Obviously, there was Clint Dempsey, there was Tim Howard.
Tim Howard,
Tim, you know, Brad Guzan was a lot of goalies, but not many like outfield players. But it was like I had to prove something. I'm an American, and I have to make a name for myself. And I was training every day. You're not just a practice player that you've seen a million times that can look really good and do everything, but how can you deal with it under pressure? And then later I'm playing against Arsenal for my first Premier League match. So for me, it's cutthroat. It's ruthless. It's the hardest thing you have to, for me, there's no like friendship. It's the environment that is so ruthless, with fans, the media, everything. You know, you have Mark Hughes telling, hey, I want you to do a job today. I want you to sit, destroy, do this. And you walk off the field and he goes, you were Rolls Royce today. You were fantastic. And then you get on the phone and you're like, you are shit, you're wank. Like, go back to the US, you know, US Yank or whatever. And you're like it's crazy. So it's ruthless in that sense, but like the standard, the discipline, everything is the highest of the highest. And, you know, for me, that's why it's the most competitive league in the world.